In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good morning everybody and welcome to the latest Elite FPL show with myself, SteveO, where today we're going to be doing a bit of an experiment. Now I'm hoping, Firetog, that my sound levels are okay. Let me know in chat if my sound is okay. It should be absolutely fine. I'm hoping it's a bit louder than what it was the other day. It should be all okay. I hope everything's all up and running. YouTube have got a new way of doing things now, but the way that everything went the other day, everything seems to be perfect. But yeah, I'm really, 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 really enthused by the way everything's going with myself and Jason regarding Elite FPL. I think that everything's falling into place so far. We've done, what is this now, the fourth stream? Third or fourth? I think it's the fourth stream. So essentially, I'm wanting to try and promote, along with Jason, the Discord. We are wanting to promote that Discord, and the biggest factor of Discord is essentially coming live on air and speaking to myself and Jason. Today's going to be a bit different. Today is a bit of an experiment which I'm hoping to try out. So obviously myself and Jason, when we do our streams, at the moment, because of the buzz around fantasy football at the moment, there are an absolute barrage of people that are wanting to come live on air. And for obvious reasons, we are trying to bring on brand new callers. We're wanting to try and get as many new callers on as possible. Because, you know, we want to hear new voices, new opinions and everything. But unfortunately, we can't get to everybody because of obviously time restraints and all that malarkey, especially late at night. I mean, we're going on for like, what, 2.5 hours of just chatting non-stop FPL. So today I'm asking everybody that's part of Discord to do me this one favour. So, essentially, it's exactly like Ask James from Planet FPL. Difference being is that I'm not answering your questions in chat. I'm answering your question live on air with you. The idea is that if you want to come and ask me a question, you get into the waiting room on Discord, get in there right now, put your team into the team screenshots section above it, and whatever your dilemma is, just ask me that one question that you want. It could be anything about your specific team. So I'm hoping people do jump into the waiting room, because this experiment is going to go completely down the pan. So if everybody, I know the defender was in there 2 seconds ago, jump back in, mate. But we need people on. We need this to run smooth. Like I said, I want this to see this as it goes, an experiment. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the content that myself and Jason are doing. And what's more important for me is I said that I'm going to be stopping listening to / watching FPL content. And it's actually helping me enjoy the product more. I don't want to bore anybody about this, but anybody completely brand new around here, and if you are brand new around here, we are on the road to 4,000 subscribers, so just simply hit that subscribe button if you are new around here. We're going to make that 4,000 mark by game week 1. Let's make it by tomorrow night, because myself and Jason are going live tomorrow night as well. But anyhow, point being is that because I've stopped listening to or watching so much FPL content, my brain isn't confused anymore. My brain isn't like, oh my God, this guy's saying this, that guy's saying that. Oh my goodness, he's got a really good thought process. No. I'm listening to Planet FPL and Let's Talk Andy. That's it. And even then, I'm choosing specifically what streams. Well, I'm specifically choosing Andy's streams because I love live streams. I think they're just absolutely fantastic. And I'm also listening to Planet FPL's superb content that they're releasing on a daily basis, because it is talking real football. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And it's not making me hate fantasy football. If anything, I'm enjoying it, because doing these shows with Jason, which is very rare, make the most of it. I'm really, really enjoying it at the moment, and it's fantastic. And as I said, myself and Jason will be trying to bring you as much content as possible. This is real now. We've got the fixtures. We've got people wanting to know what the hell to do. You know, Jason last night, we all had a bit of fun and games. You know, here we go. In fact, I want to play this video, of course, that I uploaded on Twitter at Elite FPL. Go follow us on Elite FPL. And of course, Jason yesterday, of course, he was taking the mick out of me, but I did find this a bit. Whoops! What the hell is that? I did find this bit amusing when he came up with this.
I went on Twitter,
and
you should never go on Twitter.
And working loud and
all these
clear
muppets in the chat right now.
Essentially taking a look at me for my
and you should never go on Twitter.
decision making.
All these muppets in the chat right now. I went on Twitter.
It's just that.
And you should never go on Twitter.
It's like a GIF, isn't it?
All these muppets in the chat right now. I went on Twitter.
Just fantastic. Yeah, follow us on Elite FPL. I try and get some funny clips up of what happens in the streams and everything, and just try and bring amusement really to the FPL community about what goes on the streams and everything. But yeah, Jason was kind of having a go at me about my team and everything, and saying that, nah, you're not going to be set with this team, you're going to be changing. No, I'm telling you now. Let's go through it quickly. My team that's up on screen at the moment. So I'm set with this. I'm pretty confident. As I said last night, there are 9 players that are pretty much guaranteed to be in that game week 1 team. In fact, just to let people know, I had a dream. I actually had a dream last night that Chelsea played Aston Villa in a friendly. Or more specifically, it was the FA Cup final. But it was a friendly. It was during the pre-season, which sounds really weird, but it was during the pre-season. And it was Aston Villa versus Chelsea in the FA Cup final. And essentially, Werner scored in the 73rd minute. And in the 5th minute, I think it was Pedro. I think it was Pedro or Barkley. One of the two, I can't remember now. He scored in the 5th minute, and Werner scored in the 73rd minute. So that's what things going to be happening in next season. But no, in all seriousness. So this team here I'm pretty much set with. The players that I'm in question about are Doherty. Not because he's a bad pick. But if I go to my transfer page, I've got 0.5 in the bank. Now, I'm agreeing with James from Planet FPL. I don't want to be wasting transfers on defenders for foreseeable future. Now, we all know that Wolves fixtures, they're not great. They're not great, the opening 2 fixtures. They're pretty meh. Sheffield United and Man City. But after that, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous fixtures. Hopefully this will come up on screen now. It should do. Yes, it does. And that's Wolves fixtures there after Man City. I've been using this terminology a lot, really. Let's not beat about the bush. But it's true. If Trey Zera's watching, or any wrestling fans, it's true. Oh, it's true. Kurt Angle, if you don't know. West Ham, Fulham, Leeds, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Leicester, Southampton. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I forget who it was. I apologise because we're getting so many callers on at the moment. I apologise, but an individual said, look, Doherty and Trent, I've got the best points return per million or whatever it is. Now, I couldn't care less about that, but what I do care about is Doherty's attacking threat. Now, do I really want to get rid of him for Mr. Popular in Vinagre, which then leaves me with 2 million in the bank, which in turn would turn Mason Mount into Pulisic. The only good news from my point of view is that Pulisic is injured, and based on what FPL Tips was telling us when he came live on air, plus what he was saying in chat yesterday, Pulisic is injured, and it doesn't look like he will be back for game week 1. Now again, as Jason said yesterday, we got 3 weeks today. 3 weeks, 4K. Think about it. 3 weeks, 4K. This is when it all kicks off. And we are going to know all the information we need to know. And I'm still going to have 0.5 in the bank with that. which in turn means that I can do the planning of Werner and Aubameyang out for Sterling and Aguero in game week 3. But plans change, as I said last night. But right now, I'm pretty set with this team. The players that I'm not really... It's not that I'm not happy with, but they're just 50-50s, really. It's Che Adams, could be Mitrovic, because, once again, do I really want to be wasting transfers on players for no reason at all? Like, do I really want to be wasting a £6 million transfer to bring in another £6 million transfer in Mitrovic? Look at these fixtures here. God, it's just, you cannot turn your nose up at them. And you know what? I agree with Jason. I think he can score in the Arsenal game. And I think he's going to start off... I think he's going to be a bit of a steam train, like he was, a bit like Pukki. I think like Pukki, a bit like Mitrovic in his first season. I think a lot of these players, they learn a lot. It's like a lot of players that get transferred from overseas. They don't perform so well in game week and in the first season, but my goodness, the following season, oh, it's a different story. An absolute different story. And I think that maybe Mitrovic has learnt a lot. I think Scott Parker may have learnt a lot. And I think that I'm not suggesting Fulham are going to do great next season. In fact, I would probably predict they'd go down. It's all a learning process, football. I think with football it's so instant. No time given. And Scott Parker has been relegated with Fulham into the Championship and he's brought them back up again after one season. No matter what the circumstances is, he's done it. Mitrovic, talisman, scores goals. And I always say this about any Championship player that comes up, and it's not an exact science, obviously not, but you take the amount of, like, take this Pereira as an example. So this Pereira, he scored 8 goals, 16 assists, something like that. Whenever I do players like that, I think to myself, okay, well, you've come from the Championship. The Premier League is a complete different kettle of fish. So I usually half the amount of goal attacking returns that they've got. So let's just say that's 4 goals, 8 assists. And then I kind of half it again and maybe add 1. So in Pereira's case, that would mean 2 goals and 4 assists. Add an extra 1 each side. That's 3 goals, 5 assists across the season. Jack Grealish, of course. Again, this isn't an exact science, but if we look at Grealish as an example, and of course, with Fantasy Premier League, what's so good about the game is, unlike Sky, we can jump off these players. But Jack Grealish last year, for argument's sake, 8 goals, 7 assists. Now, I again have no idea what he did in the Championship the season beforehand. Not a clue. He probably didn't get double that or anything, but then again, would you classify Jack Grealish as a player that's playing above himself? He's too good for Aston Villa. He's the talisman for Aston Villa. Maybe it's a different story in the Championship. This is the kind of research that people like myself need to do, but that's the kind of way I look at things. And can Pereira do what Grealish did last year? We hear a lot of people screaming and shouting saying you've got to get Pereira in your team. Do I? It's West Brom. Once again, they didn't look great towards the end of the season. And that's my basic knowledge. If we look at West Brom's fixtures, again, a team which I think is going to struggle. Leicester, Everton, Chelsea, Southampton, Burnley. It's this patch here. Southampton, Burnley, Brighton, Fulham. Between game weeks 4 and 7. That's when I'd be looking at them. Another thought process that I was thinking, possibly, but again, it's very, very unlikely, is to maybe go with 2 promoted team players, i.e. Pereira, i.e. Mitrovic. Because we all know that with these promoted teams, they've got something to prove in the first, 10 game weeks? And I truly do think that maybe jumping on board Pereira and Mitrovic early for say someone like in my case St Maximin and Adams, maybe a way to go. It's just something to think about. But enough about me. Enough about what I've got to say. I'm going to deliberately just say hello to a few people that are in chat at the moment. FPL Dave's here. My goodness. He's an FPL Dave, another one. Get on YouTube. Forget Twitch. Morning, pal. I'm not drinking vodka now, mate. I won't be drinking any vodka. So if you come here to see me take several shots of vodka, forget it. Forget it. Thank you, FireTog, there for saying about, of course, joining the Discord. Obviously, like I said, I'm wanting to take one question only per team. We've got a few people in there now. FPL Tips, I've just been talking about you. Just been mentioning about what you were saying last night. Got a few people in there. I want a few more. Come on, get in that waiting room. Get that team, the team screenshots, and ask me one question about your team. What are your dilemmas? I want more people. More. In the words of Homer Simpson, I want more. That's what you come here for, FPL Day. Forget fantasy football, just me doing impressions. Robbie17, Grekler, Lee Ozzy. My goodness. A lot of these people coming out of the woodwork. Paul Wickett. Colin O'Leary, Lee Brunt, De Source, Najar Sharma. FPL Tips, it was about Pulisic, whether he's starting on game week 1 or not. Whether he's starting game week 1 or not. Robert Moore's here, good morning, pal. I know Linguistic Llama's here. Someone was asking about you, Llama. Someone was asking about you, Llama. De Source, thank you for correcting me, SteveO, in regarding Grealish. So kind of proves my theory wrong. During the championship season, he got 6 goals, 6 assists. Again, I don't know what his role was. If you want to tell me about his role in the championship season. He played 31 games. How many games were in the championship? 46, something like that, roughly. And FPL Tips just confirming, perfect. Yeah, thinks it's unlikely for him to be back for game week 1. Exactly, FireTalk making the point here. Come live on the show and ask your question. Yeah, ask that question live on air. ML Malaysia TV, you're putting high expectations. Me? It's not me, mate. High expectations, Ziyech. Maximum goals he's expected to get in the season is 10. That'll do for me. 8.5? You having a laugh? MSK, how long you streaming for? About an hour. Said that last time, didn't I? Clown World, is that where I should be going? Clown World, the amount of people that I call clowns. Dina Buno's here. Harry Huang. FPL Indian, any idea about the double game with Man U Man City? Ben Krellin says game week 18-19, roughly. Good day, matey. D-Sus. Good day, mate. Right, let's get on with this. And oh wow. Well, this will be an honour if I can bring him on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on the people that have been in the waiting room. Please do not post in the team screenshots if you are not coming live on air. Do not post in the team screenshots if you're coming live on air. Please just post in the Rate My Team if you are not coming live on air. There are many people that are willing to discuss your team with you in the Rate My Team section in the Discord. And again, the link is in the description. FireTog is kindly posting that link in the description. If you are completely brand new around here, it's the road. Myself and Jason are on the road to 4K. The road to 4K. And we are going to bring on Defender for his one and only question to myself. I wonder what that question will be. It's going to be a surprise to me as it will be for everybody else. So let's find out from Defender regarding his team. Just need to unmute your mic, Defender, and we'll get you live on air to ask me that one question regarding your team, because I'm going to be very interested to hear what your question is, because as a valued member of the show, we will find out. Defender, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Good afternoon, Defender. Shoot away.
Good afternoon.
What is your one single question to ask me about your team up on screen right now?
Yes. My question is, earlier before we got the prizes and the fixtures, I think a lot of people thought about, if we get the blank, shouldn't it be like build the team around Game Week 2, Game Week 3 and just have placeholders? And I think the prizes and the fixtures have persuaded my initial thoughts. So now I have my Game Week 3 team in the screenshot here. What do you think about that thinking instead of, trying to build a Game Week 1 team?
So just to clarify the question, right, just based on what you're saying, this would be the team for Game Week 1, but...
No, Game Week 3. Game Week 3.
And what specifically is the question then?
The question is, should you just ignore, do you think it's a good option to ignore Game Week 1 and Game Week 2 and build your team for Game Week 3 with the availableness with the City and Manchester United?
So for
and just have placeholders.
Right. So for argument's sake, right, De Bruyne and Sterling would be someone like, for argument's sake, St. Maximin and Armstrong.
No, they will be Mane and Aubameyang.
Oh, I see. So right, yeah. I think that's a great strategy.
Yeah.
I think personally it's the same strategy as what I'm pretty much planning on doing, to be honest with you. This team up on screen on here, for anybody listening on audio, we've got Matt Ryan, Vinagre, Lascelles, Walker-Peters, Greenwood, Fernandes, Ziyech, De Bruyne, Sterling, Werner and Mitrovic. But this is a Game Week 3 team, and Defender's going to be building his team up for this. And I think you've nailed it, Defender, personally. I don't think there's any need for any real tinkering, because I do think that the opening 2 fixtures, if we're brave enough, keyword being brave enough, not going with these players in Game Week 2, just like me, I think going with those Game Week 3 planned strategies is the way forward. Cheers, Defender.
Cheers.
Speak to you soon, pal. That's FPL Defender there with his one question. By the way, I'm quite... I never thought how nervous I would be answering a question because I don't know what the hell people can specifically ask about their team. It could be anything. Right then, let's bring on Mike, because I know Mike, or Mikey, Mick. I know he was on last night. Let's bring on. Hello, Mike. Just need to unmute your mic, mate. Mike, you just need to unmute your mic, Mike.
Hello.
Hello, Mike. Welcome. You're
Hello.
brand new around here. Morning.
Yeah. Hello.
Me and Jason always like to get to know our new audience members coming live on air. How did you find out about the stream?
I spend a lot of my time just watching videos. Probably not the best thing, and changing my team. So I just found the channel by searching for FPL content, and it's quite a good stream, good videos. So thought I'd just come on.
Well, we've got your team up on screen at the moment. We've got McCarthy, Vinagre, Justin, Alexander-Arnold, Salah, St. Maximin, Son, Aubameyang, Ziyech, Mitrovic and Werner. What is that one question that you want to ask me?
I was thinking, is the best strategy for me and my team to play this team for Game Week 1 and 2, and for Game Week 3 wildcard, and then bring in like Doherty on some Man City and Man United players?
So you've kind of pulled a string on my violin there, because I'm kind of in a very, 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 very similar thought process to you. I'll ask you a question. Have you ever done this strategy before? Because I personally haven't, and I'm tempted to do the same.
I haven't done this before because it's just seemed too risky in other seasons, and it's like played out. Like I've had like Salah in the other seasons, and I've it's just like worked for me. I haven't needed to bring in players because they were playing. But this time, because there's no Man City or Man United players, I feel like I'm gonna have to wildcard to bring all the players I want in.
Even this is defeating the format, but whatever. Another question for you is that how do you think, though, that Man City and United are going to be performing this season? I personally think City are going to win the title. I think they're just going to storm the league. I think what they demonstrated through Project Restart is just going to continue throughout the rest of this season in the Premier League. So that means that I'm concerned about not having assets from them. But Man United, and I'm not too fussed about per se. Fernandes worries me a bit. Martial maybe, but because he's a striker, I'm not really fussed.
The only person from United I would think to be bringing in is Greenwood, maybe a defender, but I think Greenwood's the only one I would think to bring in because he gets a lot of points for his price. So, and it's always good to have a player from like a team which could do well. So I think, yeah.
I'm looking at this team here, and a bit like what we were saying about certain 3-4-3 formations last night, some players having Kane, Werner and Mitrovic up front, or slightly different combinations with 3 premium strikers. I look at this team and I think your strategy, like with me, is ideal. You've got a team set up for the opening 2 game weeks. And then your plan, like with me in a way, is to hit that wild card and get in those players like De Bruyne or Sterling. However, as I mentioned earlier, my plan is to just hold if I can. Don't panic for game weeks 1 and 2, and then just downgrade. I say downgrade. Get rid of Aubameyang, get rid of Werner, and bring in Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne. Have you thought about that maybe in saving that wild card, or are you adamant on doing that wild card?
I have thought about that, but I think they have pretty good fixtures. So, and it'll take a few weeks to bring, like a few game weeks to bring them in. So if I wildcard, I can get quite a few in at once. And because I've never done an early wildcard, I think it'll be interesting to see, and hopefully it pays off.
Brilliant, Mike. Thank you for coming on the show.
All right, thank you.
Cheers,
thank
dude. You. Now I saw this name last night. And I thought, is it him? Is it the real Jeremy Corbyn? Who knows? Jeremy Corbyn. Just need to unmute your mic, mate.
Hello.
Hello. Is this Aussie boy? Hello, mate. How's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
You're completely brand new on the show. How did you find out about Elite FPL?
At the start of last year, I started to have a look at different FPL channels. I liked the look of Davey FPL, so I ended up just watching him for the first season. And now this year, I'm trying to break into the top 100k, so I'm just trying to expand the people I'm watching and trying to get more advice on my team.
I just copied Davey FPL then. He's a friend of the show.
Basically, yeah.
Well, it's nice to have you on the show. The simple question is, what one question do you want to ask me about your team? And for people listening on audio, we've got McCarthy, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Vinagre, Justin, Robertson, Salah, Ziyech, Armstrong, Aubameyang, Jimenez and Ings. It's a lovely looking team. What's that one question?
After game week 2, should I go for Ziyech and Martial or Bruno Fernandes and Mitrovic?
Say that again. For game week 2, because you've already got Ziyech in your team. So say that again.
Yeah. Should I go for Ziyech and transfer in Martial, or should I start with Mitrovic and then transfer in Bruno Fernandes?
My personal opinion, Jason, I know he was screaming at me last night, and so was Vince Chapman. Vince Chapman, remember you said that you were going to come live on air tomorrow evening, so me and Self and Jason are going to be expecting a fight with myself and you, but Martial, I just find that the fact that he's now being classified as a striker puts me off him a bit. However, Fernandes at 1.5 million more for consistent returns. Corbyn, that's a very, very difficult question. Do you know what? let's put it out. I shouldn't be doing this. This is why we live stream FPL Dave. And how many cats should you eat, FPL Dave? None. Cruelty to animals. So everybody in chat, listen to Jedemiah's Corbyn's question again. So just to clarify it, you want to get rid of Ziyech, just so I understand, so then the people in chat understand. Ziyech out for Fernandez, or who was it? Jimenez out for Martial. Corbyn, are you there? Corbyn! Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. What a shame. Okay, well, let's ask that question anyway. Corbyn's gone, aka Aussie boy. So let's ask the question in. If Corbyn's watching this now, or he's looking into the chat or anything, what would you guys do in chat? Drazera's here. There was something I was going to say about you. So what would you do? Is it Ziyech out for Fernandez or Jimenez out for Martial? Oh, here he is. It's FPL Cheddar. Let's bring it back. FPL Cheddar. Corbyn. Just need to unmute your mic. Here he is. Where'd you go?
I think my Wi-Fi just went for a second. So,
so can you clarify the question? Because it does appear that most people are going with the first option. But
okay.
Did you say Ziyech out for Fernandez or Jimenez out for Martial?
I'd either go Ings to...
Oh, Ings.
Ings to Martial.
Yeah.
Or I'd start with Mitrovic instead of Ings and then do Ziyech to Bruno Fernandes.
Right. So, based on what everybody's saying here in chat, because I find that quite interesting, it appears that most people are saying Fernandes.
Okay, gosh, yeah.
People going for Fernandes instead. I'm kind of in the same ball, but... Ooh, Martial in for Ings.
Okay.
Oh, we've got 3 weeks. 3 weeks FPL. How do you want to be called? FPL Cheddar or Corbyn?
FPL, whatever. I don't mind.
It doesn't matter. Cool. All right, Cheddar. You've got 3 weeks left. Cheers, dude. Thank you. Now, we had about 30 people in the waiting room. Everybody's disappeared. What's going on here? What's going on here? Now, I want to bring on this lad. Alex the Kid. Because I know for a fact that he's been a fan of the show for a very, very long time. I've never heard him on live on air. I don't think I have anyway. Let's bring on Alex the Kid. You just need to unmute your mic and we get you live on air.
Hello.
Hello, Alex. Welcome.
Hi.
It's the first time on the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
What made you decide to come on now rather than last season?
I didn't really know how to get on it, to be honest. Only just recently I've found out how to get on the actual Discord.
Oh, I see. Fair. And how are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good. I was in it at the end of last season, just never went on air.
That's it. How did you end up last season?
100,000. I think I won my cash league.
Ah, congratulations. Well done.
Oh.
Can't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Invitational league only. Make sure everybody check out elitefpl.com, invitational, and you'll find out more details about a certain league. Anyhow, we got you live on air. What's this one question you want to ask about the team up on screen right now, which is as follows: Ramsdale, Trent, Walker-Peters, Justin, Aubameyang's son, Ziyech, Salah, St. Maximin, Werner and Mitrovic. Looks very similar to a certain person's team that you're speaking to right now. What is that one question?
What's your opinion on penalty takers this season? So that's what I'm going to be targeting. So after the City United games, I'm going to be looking to get Fernandes and De Bruyne in.
Isn't it? I mean, I'll reverse the question. Last season, am I right in saying that actually getting in penalty takers wasn't that great a thing? Unless you had, because most people had Kevin De Bruyne, most people had Fernandes. But the majority of teams, I don't think, had many penalties. Am I wrong in saying that? Or it's a great strategy, by the way.
Yeah, I know United a lot, but I can just see with the VAR, it seems to be more on average in general. And you want that player in. So someone like Mitrovic, who plays for a bad team, if they get a penalty, he's most likely to get the points.
Yeah, I'm liking the Mitrovic pick. I'm very, very tempted. Che Adams in my team is somebody that could be walking out for Mitrovic because his fixture's looking stunning. I think it's a great shout. I haven't personally looked into it myself. I'm just going with the form players and everything. I just want to ask you a question. Salah captain, is that a lock?
Yeah, most likely. I think he's more consistent than Aubameyang. Like I say, he's on penalties. He's not on set pieces, but he is sometimes, but more likely than Aubameyang. He's more consistent.
You're a regular on our streams, aren't you? In the chat.
Yeah.
I'll do a Jason. I'll ask him. I know Jason's here. Morning, Jace. How are you finding the progress of the evolvement of our channel?
Well, I only joined about midway through last season when I was looking to. I think it was like after Christmas, but no, it's good. It's a laugh. It's I enjoy the Discord anyway, saying everyone's opinion.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It gets a bit chaotic, but it's all a bit of fun, and we can all have a laugh about that. Alex the Kid, thank you for joining us, and hopefully get you all live on air another time.
No, I've just got one more question.
Oh dear. That's a £2 donation. £2 donation. Go for it.
What's your opinion on Podence?
Yeah, 5.5, isn't he? My advice is this: if he looks like he's starting in the pre-season games, get him in. He looked good, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked good.
Yeah, he looks class.
Yeah, I think certainly he's a player to be keeping an eye on. Would I take him over St. Maximin? Who would you get him in for? St. Maximin?
Yeah, I've only got him in because of the price point, but any other season, that's the thing with players like Armstrong. Any other time in the season, you don't get him in. Like they're never your first players in your team, are they?
No, precisely. I think Podence is a great shout, Alex the Kid. Cheers for joining us, pal.
No worries, thank you.
There's Alex the Kid there, a regular contributor to Elite FPL. He's great. Blimey, we've got Sultan Saeed here. Sultan Saeed, but I know that is Bicky still online. If Bicky's still there, we'll bring him on next. Yes, he is still there. Bicky is still there, so Bicky, just make sure your mic's unmuted, which it is, and we can bring you live on air right now. Morning, Bicky. Morning, Bicky. Just need to mute the stream.
Oh, yeah, SteveO.
Hello. Talk again. Have we got another Bristolian?
Gloucester.
Gloucester. Morning.
That's it. And a Burnley fan.
Are you? How come you're a Burnley fan?
My old man.
Yes. Yeah. Same here,
Picked me
man.
up as a kid. Season ticket holder.
Oh, are you really?
I was. The work issues now. So, yeah.
Well, with the whole pandemic and everything, I don't know what's going on. I think it's October, isn't it? I think Burnley. Well, I think everybody released a statement about something to do with October. Everybody can return and everything. Are you optimistic for this upcoming season?
I think it'd be. I think we need to spend a bit of money. We've.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Keep hold. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Keep hold of McNeil, Tarkowski. I think similar to last season. Solid.
What are your thoughts
Maybe.
on McNeil? Are you like me, where it's more of a case of essentially he's great for us, but if he was to move to a bigger team, i.e. Leicester or whatever, I don't think it would quite work. I don't know. I've only just been watching bits and pieces over the Project Restart, but to be honest, he doesn't really impress me. But tell us from your point of view.
It's if they're given a proper chance with us. He knows he can play week in, week out. If he goes to Leicester, he's got to compete with Perez, Barnes. I mean, if he was putting balls into Jamie Vardy all the time with his crossing ability, I think he could be brilliant. But it's just given an opportunity.
No, absolutely. And my dad messaged me the other day about talk of I mean, this is bizarre, really. I think it was AC Milan or someone coming in for Chris Woods,
Yeah.
possibly. What's that all about?
Yeah, Milan. Yeah, it was one of the. I think it might have been Milan. Yeah, I think he's a natural goal scorer.
Yes.
He doesn't need many chances. He's something. I think we need someone alongside him. To be fair, I mean, I love J Rod, but I'm not sure if he got to take us that next step. We need that over a goal scorer or a target man. He's kind of in the middle.
It's a shame with Burnley's opening fixtures from a fantasy football perspective that they're not too great. I've always got a theory on Burnley that if we're playing anybody essentially 11th downwards, we're always gonna do well. We're always gonna get those three, like at least an average of 3 points versus these teams here, because we always seem to do well. We always seem to keep the clean sheets. But anybody above top 10 is a waste of time. And the opening fixtures for Burnley aren't that great. It's a shame because I really wanted Nick Pope.
Well, I've kept Taylor in one of my drafts and just to keep him on the bench. But one thing you can always guarantee with Burnley is you can put them to lose 5-0 to Man City every single game. Get down the bookies and put your mortgage on it. It's that simple.
It's frustrating from my perspective because unfortunately for me, I can't access watching football live or anything legally. And I don't get to see as much. And over the Project Restart, obviously Burnley were on TV on a regular basis. It was the first time I was really watching them. And a lot of the time, like my dad keeps me up to date with how Burnley are playing. And 99 times out of 100, it's we get to the halfway line and we pass it backwards. And I just thought, you can't be serious. I watched them over the Project Restart.
I think, what was his name? You forgot his name yesterday as well.
Brownhill.
Brownhill. I think he's a lot different to Jack Cork. Jack Cork would always look back, whereas Brownhill seems to look forward. I think he was a big difference when he came in.
Yeah, he seemed to have played a lot better when he was playing in his... I believe I'm right in saying he's playing in his natural position in the centre of the midfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also McNeil's natural position as well. He's just doing a job for us on the left, but he's naturally a centre midfielder as well.
Oh, really?
That's where he came up through the ranks as a centre midfielder, but... As you see, well, everyone's seen how good he is on the left. I think he can play anywhere along that four.
So, talking of your team, it's up on screen at the moment. We've got McCarthy, Trent, Vinagre, Johnson, Salah, Armstrong, Aubameyang, Soucek. Blimey, heavy on West Ham. I'm not liking that, but is it the claret and blue that are persuading? Who knows? But Adams, Mitrovic, and...
It's the first fixture. But if you look on my bench, Fernandez comes in for the second game week.
Well,
Soucek on the bench.
Yeah, so what is your one and only question then?
Is it worth saving the transfers, having the United player on the bench to bring in, then on game week 3 we can have 2 transfers to bring in your Man City players? Because the midfield most of mine have got reasonable fixtures, so is it worth saving the transfer and then to game week 3 having 3 Man City and Man United players?
People can see me just nodding my head in agreement. Yes. The problem that I hate about all of us that play this game is that that strategy is gorgeous. You've just said it yourself. This team here is virtually set in stone, give or take, for game week 1 fixtures, maybe game week 2. You've got 2 players on the bench which have got decent fixtures in game week 2. Fernandez pops in for Soucek.
Another player that people aren't talking about is they're looking for the 4 million defenders. Everyone's on about Ferguson, which I've got. But didn't that Johnson play on the right back for the last 10 or so games for West Ham?
Yes, he is somebody that I'm almost certainly going to be bringing in because... I don't want to keep going on about it. It's just a fact. One of James is tuning in now. Every time I seem to mention his name, he pops in. But James of Planet FPL actually said that on his Ask James on Thursday, which I listened to yesterday.
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah, Johnson looks like he cemented his place, and I think I'm going to be going down that route of Ferguson. However, despite Crystal Palace's poor fixtures, I'm going to be looking out for those friendlies, the pre-season watch, and just making sure that which 4 million players are starting. But Big Mate, I think your plan, if you can stay strong, and I'm going to try and stay strong myself with my own plan, get through those opening 2 game weeks, get to game week 3.
But like you, it's so hard because you see so much content and you get persuaded. I was just listening to you at the start, and I think that's a great idea. Try and cut down because I watched one stream and I look back at my team and you start tinkering, change. Just go with your gut and see where it takes you.
I think my advice to anybody watching this is that there's no harm in sticking with your favourite shows. Like, I love Planet FPL. I think from a genuine informational point of view, I'm not even talking about fantasy football here. I'm just talking about the way Suz and James present themselves and the...
Oh, I think they're brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, how long have you been with those two for? Because I only joined them this time last year with their 30 and 30.
I started this time last year because I was actually on holiday and I was led on the sunbed listening to all their... they had each supporter from each club coming on. So, what was it, the 50 and 50?
30 and 30.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I spent most of my holiday listening to that. The missus wasn't too happy, but it got me through the holiday. Yeah,
those they're correct because I actually asked James. Both of them. I asked about what will be their plan regarding this season about doing the correspondence, talking about their respective teams, and they have a plan. I believe they're doing they've got something to announce. Regarding this at some point next week, and I'm certainly going to be looking into that. But I think
is that you're the Burnley correspondent? Is it?
No. I've got that's Jimmy. I think his name is Turfy Topper. I think he goes by.
It is. Yeah.
And it's funny because whenever I listen to him on their show, I'm just sat there just again nodding in agreement with everything he says because. This guy watches them everything just like yourself. You get to watch Burnley every week, and you're just basically reinforcing all my thought processes. But you get to see this every single Saturday. Bick, it's been a great chat. Now, I'm sure you've been with us for quite a while in the sense of regarding Discord, but you haven't come live on air.
I did once, probably this time last season.
Wow.
But. Well, yeah, I changed my phone over, and I've literally just downloaded it again. So I'm back, and I'll be on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Often. Yeah, me and Jason always implore people to come live on air because we just don't enjoy talking much. We'd rather engage in a conversation like this.
Last time I commented, you got quite excited because you thought it was a female.
Oh, are you? Are you picking the one that uses his YouTube? Your Mrs.
Yes, that's it.
Right.
It's a picture of both of us, and you got a bit excited, I think.
Fantastic, Bick. It's been great.
Yeah, brilliant, Steve. Good luck for the season, mate.
Yeah, you too. There's Bicky there, a long time follower of the show and everything. And that's all fun and games, to be honest with you. That's great. Let's bring on. Who's this? The Dara Brosnan. He was on. I'm sure Dara was on last night. Let's bring on XD Brood. I wonder. Dre. That's the reason why I mentioned you earlier on because I was doing a Kurt Angle impression. XD Brood. I wonder if you're basing that on the Gangrel, Edge and Christian era, the Attitude era of WWE. Let's find out. XD Brood, you're live on air. You just need to unmute your mic and you're going to get to ask me one question. Hello, XD Brood, are you there? Here he is. He's unmuted his mic. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. Brand new to the show.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I thought we were going to do a reminiscence of that song starting with Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. All good.
Welcome, pal. How did you find out about Elite FPL?
I've been, this season for FPL, I've been actually trying to take it a bit more seriously because I haven't done it that well last 2 years. I've been slacking a bit, so I've been watching loads of YouTubers and
I always ask
streams
this.
And that. And I was just looking through my YouTube feed this morning. I saw your live stream, so I thought I'd come on the Discord.
Oh, what, you joined the Discord this morning, did you?
Yeah, I just found out about it this morning, so I thought I'd check it out.
I'll do the line that Jason always says. I know you've only been on it for 40 odd minutes or whatever, but how are you finding it? You're live on air, speaking to X amount of people. How are you finding it? Easy?
Nice. It's good. I mean, good experience.
No, it is indeed. And we got your team up on screen at the moment. We got McCarthy, Trent, Vinagre, and Ferguson.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Vinagre.
Ferguson then. Son, Aubameyang, St. Maximin, Salah, Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
That's different. Werner Mitrovic. I'm asking people to ask me one question about their team. Any issues? What is that one question?
Okay, so I was thinking about my team. I think, is it worth saving up three transfers after game week 3, and then because I got 1.5 million still sat in the bank
Nice.
ready for game week 3, and I was thinking maybe to substitute or transfer out my attackers in Aubameyang, Son, and Ward-Prowse, and get in a triple Manchester move in Rashford, Greenwood, and Kevin De Bruyne. So I think I was just wondering if that would be worth it, or using up all my budget now and then.
There's a lot of this strategy seems to be coming up a lot now. I mentioned it last night regarding my own team. I mentioned it at the start of the show. We just had Bicky just saying virtually the same thing. I apologise, but someone else said the same thing a minute ago. I think is a great strategy. I think the only problem with it is that all us fantasy Premier League managers are weak. We're very weak indeed, and we follow the bandwagons.
Yeah.
It's like Firetog saying now. Firetog saying exactly what I'm thinking. It's a great plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because obviously I was following sort of the bandwagon a bit in the McCarthy and the Ferguson, Vinagre. Obviously everyone's going for them because they're cheap and saves up a bit of budget for the attackers. But then I got Charlie Taylor, on the bench. So reckon maybe rotating my defenders with substitutes, and then rotate my attackers with transfers.
I think it's great. I'm in the same boat as you. I've got 0.5 in the bank at the moment. I could get rid of Doherty for Vinagre, but it's just a wasted transfer to bring back Doherty in. Who would you be getting rid of? To bring in the Kevin De Bruyne.
So I got 1.5 million in the bank. So I would straight up swap Son out for Rashford,
nice.
Aubameyang out for De Bruyne, and James Ward-Prowse out for Greenwood.
Good Lord. Someone's actually asked in the chat, very different with Ward-Prowse. What's the thing with Ward-Prowse? So,
Southampton have got their first couple of games, I think. I thought maybe they could get a few goals, or even a midfielder gets clean sheet points as well. So they could even pick up a clean sheet in their first game against Crystal Palace. And obviously Ward-Prowse is on set pieces, and he's So I think
I think Brood. I think it's an excellent plan. The question is, do you have the cojones to go through with it? And
do I have the strength to stick with it?
I
don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
We will indeed. We've got 3 weeks. Mate, thanks for coming live on the show, and like myself and Jason always say, more than welcome to come on again.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Cheers, dude. That's XD Brood there. Let's bring on a friend of the show. It's Sultan Saeed. I see Jason saying it. I know FPL Dave's still here. FPL Dave, if you want to come live on air and ask me one question, by all means, you're more than welcome to. Just join that Discord. Sultan Saeed, you're up next, my friend. I don't need to talk about anything other than what's your one question that you want to ask me?
Good morning, Steve.
Morning, pal.
It's just my strategy going into game week 3 currently. I have 0.5 in the bank, and I can do Maddison and Aubameyang to Greenwood and De Bruyne. So, do you think that's a good idea, or would you prefer if I did Maddison to Greenwood from game week 1, start him on the bench and bring in maybe Justin? And then bring in Greenwood for Crystal Palace in game week 2. Which strategy would you prefer?
I do the original plan. Go with Maddison and Aubameyang out for Greenwood and Kevin De Bruyne by game week. When would you do it? Game week 2 or game week 3?
Do it game week 3.
Game week 3,
move, so I wouldn't have to do a -4, and I also wouldn't. I wouldn't need to worry about price rises. because I've got 0.5 in the bank as well, which is useful.
Yeah, I think go with it. I don't personally trust Leicester from a defensive point of view. I know you've got him. I mean, for people listening on audio, we've got McCarthy, Alexander-Arnold, Dyer. Oh, Jason, we've got a Dyer fan, and we'll get into that in a second. Vinagre, Maddison, Salah, Aubameyang, Son, Armstrong, Mitrovic, Werner. Dyer, tell Jason why you own Dyer.
For the fixtures, to be honest with you, that's
there we are, mate.
It. Yeah, simple as that. He's 5 million, low ownership. Looking at his previous history, he's got, he gets the odd attacking return here and there as well. So I think he could be a decent pick for the first maybe 8 game weeks or something.
Absolutely, my friend. That's all I want to hear. One question for you that I have for you: are you going to be joining the Invitational League? Have you already signed up, or?
I'm thinking about it.
Do it.
Is the deadline soon? Is it?
Game week 1. Literally, as the deadline happens, that's the end of. There's a timer on. For anybody that's wondering what the hell I'm talking about, go to elitefpl.com. Find out all things about the Invitational League. It's all the information is there. There is a timer. Jason's put a lot of hard work into the website, and there's a little timer telling you when the deadline is. So yeah, Sultan, I would highly recommend, and you may have already done it anyway, but I'd highly recommend reading about it. I know you're a huge supporter of the show and stuff. And where did you end up
absolutely.
In the Challenge League last year? Did you get in the top 4? Or did you just miss out?
Unfortunately, I crashed out of the top 4. Around game week 31, I climbed up to 4th, and then it just went downhill. Pretty much my worst stage of the season was when it was Liverpool versus Brighton, and then I was a Mane owner, whereas a lot of my rivals were Salah. And we all know what happened there.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'll let you know what happened. I captained Salah for 2 game weeks in a row. Did Jack all, and then all of a sudden decided to not captain. Oh, he gets an 18-point haul. Thanks very much, Salah. I'm not bitter or anything. Sultan, that was fantastic. Hear from you again.
Yeah, thanks for that, Steve.
No, thank you.
See you soon, mate.
See you soon. That's Sultan Side there, a friend of the show. He's been a huge supporter of our show for a very, very long time, and hopefully you new listeners around here will be exactly the same, supporting myself and Jason. And by the way, if you are enjoying the stream right now, just simply hit that like button. If you are completely brand new around here, hit that subscribe button. Help myself and Jason on the road to 4K. Let's bring on CCP Perestroka. What a mouthful that is. CCP, are you there? I know you've been in the waiting room for a while now.
Brand new around here, hit that subscribe button. Help myself and Jason on the road to.
Just need to mute your mic, CCP, and we will be able to have a coherent conversation without any feedback. I'm trying to find. Well, there is there. There's the team there in question. Let's bring them on. Just need to mute the microphone, CCP, and away we go. Oh, we've got a special guest coming up in a minute. I wonder if I could do an impression. I wonder if I could do an impression. CCP, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, my friend. You are live on the Elite FPL show. Welcome.
There we go. I've got it. Cheers. Thank you. Welcome.
Are you brand new this morning? Have you been with us for a long time? Have you been with us over the last few streams? What's the story with joining us?
I found the stream 2 days ago. Just the YouTube algorithm. I thought it was a cool stream. It was really interesting to see other people's squads. And also the commentary's good. I like you guys' commentary.
Thanks very much. I really do appreciate it. I know Jason's listening, and my co-host, myself and Jason, will be hopefully streaming tomorrow evening. So all are welcome again. McCarthy in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Vinagre, Justin, Salah, Aubameyang, Ziyech, Foden, Pereira. Oh, we were just talking about Pereira a minute ago. Mitrovic and Kane. CCP. What is that one question you have for me? It's not going to be about shall I bring in Man City assets by game week 3.
This team is by no means the final pick. Definitely not. I think I've kind of gone on fixtures in some ways. I didn't hear you guys talk about Pereira, actually. I must have missed that part. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts about what you think his season will be like.
Again, I'm not going to proclaim to be any form of expert on anything to do with football, to be honest with you. But based on all the talk that I'm hearing about this guy, everything he did in the Championship last season, he appears to be the main man at West Brom. I certainly think that... So essentially what I was saying the earlier on was that with a lot of these promoted clubs, a lot of their talisman between game weeks 1 up to, say, for argument's sake, game week 10, they seem to get the majority of their points then. Because obviously they're trying to try and get as many points themselves to stay in the Premier League. And Pereira now officially signed for West Brom. He's 6 million. I think is it a gamble? I don't know if it's a gamble, but a gamble worth taking. And I'm tempted with that 0.5 to put him in my team. West Brom fixtures aren't that bad. They're not too bad. And from all the talk, I mean, I predicted that, give or take, that Pereira's going to get about 3 goals, 5-6 assists this season, roughly. I'm not expecting West Brom to be pulling up any trees. Their form. I mean, are you a Championship fan or?
No, I'm not. But I have friends that are big into the Championship, and so I've been listening to what they've sort of been saying.
Yeah, West Brom. You're probably aware, like me, but West Brom kind of tailed off towards the end. They were very, ironically, they were very lucky to get that automatic spot because their just form fell off a cliff. Now, again, was that a bit like Liverpool where they felt that they pretty much had second spot guaranteed, so they just came off the gas? I don't know. But I'd be certainly listening out for West Bromwich Albion fans, what they think about Pereira. Mitrovic is exactly the same boat. I think that Mitrovic will have learned a lot from his first Premier League experience with Fulham, and then he did absolutely amazingly last season, and then this season I think that they're gonna do all right. Did you ask a question? I can't even remember if you did or not.
Well, I do have another question anyway. My question is about like your thoughts on Leeds players. I mean, Leeds have got a lot of hype coming up this year, and not many players. I mean, some people have Bamford on the bench. Some people are talking about Helder Costa on the right. What are your thoughts about some of the Leeds players that you could possibly put in?
Without repeating myself, without wanting to repeat myself, again, I'm not an expert. However, my dad, who hates Leeds, in his words, without any bias, he did say that they are absolutely looking fantastic. He said they are looking absolutely quality. This Bielsa has got a bit of a reputation, and I personally don't want to be jumping on them at first. Their fixtures, I can't remember how their fixtures are. Leeds, let's just quickly bring up Leeds' fixtures, because based on everything that I've heard and read, and I'll certainly be listening in on Planet FPL with Andy Martin. I mean, Andy, you may be even watching now. Jump on the Discord, pal. He's a Leeds correspondent, and he'll have a lot of things to say. But Leeds opening fixtures, Liverpool away, that's awful. Fulham, Sheffield United, Man City, horrid opening 4 fixtures. And then after that, they got Wolves. That's just terrible. Between, I suppose, game week 6 to 8, between 6 and 8, Aston Villa, Leicester, Crystal Palace. That may be when we see what Leeds are about. Maybe against Fulham. They're at home. It's their first game at home at Ellen Road. I think it's obviously a derby against Sheffield United. Anything can happen in that. I think Leeds are a wait and see. But if you're willing to have that money sat on your bench with Bamford, was it Bamford that you mentioned? I can't remember now. A lot of people have gone for Bamford in the subs. But another one that I've heard mentioned by sort of people who were watching the Championship last year is Helder Costa. And he's had Prem experience with Wolves as well. Is it, I was going to say, is he the Wolves player, is he?
He was Wolves, but he's permanently at Leeds, I think, now.
How did he do? Do you know how well he did for the Leeds last year?
Well, he was in and out of the team, but when he was in the team, right at the end of the season, he did look very dangerous on the right. And just given his Prem experience with Wolves, where I also thought he looked decent at Wolves.
I think with him, keep an eye on pre-season, see what's going on. If he's looking like he's starting a lot of the pre-season games, take your own advice, jump on him in. How much is he in the game?
I think he's 6.5.
Oh, he's 6.5.
I think so. Or could be 5.5.
Let's just quickly check. I can just do it right now, and then I'll be able to tell
Probably
you.
Probably a 5.5 actually.
Because for that 0.5 more cost, he's 5.5. I think for that 0.5 more, you've got Pereira, which from what we've discussed, from our understanding, is that he's a top quality player, and it'd be mad not to potentially own him. CCP, it's been great to have you on.
Cheers. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Cheers, dude. Bye. That's CCP there. Well, I'm going to bring on this special guest. It's FPL Dave. Can I do an impression of him? No! That's about as good as it gets. FPL Dave, I know you're very, very good with technology. Are you able to unmute your mic? Yes, here he is. Morning, FPL Dave. It's that laugh. That laugh is fantastic.
You're a mental case, man. I haven't even really been listening. I've just been watching you laugh your ass off at people coming on and just giggling at them, being like, "Have you got one question?" And then they ask you a question, and then you just laugh at them. It's amazing. This is the best thing I've ever woken up to. This is great.
This is what Elite FPL is all about. Having a laugh, you know. It's all about you know, and also just of interest. Every time I see your streams or watch your streams, whenever you upload them to YouTube, there's always a fire alarm going off. Have you had your missus setting off the fire alarm at all today?
Yeah, she's just. I mean, she is actually quite good at cooking, but the fire alarm's just a little bit overused. I actually have to change the batteries more than general people, I'm assuming. It's hilarious. Yeah, but she hates it as well. She comes in, she's like, "Sorry." I'm like, "You fucking should be."
Oh dear, Dave. That's
Oh, we're not like
unlike your show, we're a family friendly.
Oh,
we're a family friendly.
Darn it.
So that's
I didn't know that.
How much do we earn from YouTube? That's 50p you owe us. So just super chat us 50p and.
Oh, is there a swear jar? That's amazing. Right, I tell you what, I'll buy you a pint whenever we finally see each other.
In the FPL meetup. Have you been nominated for one of the the Football Content Awards? Because we may see each other there.
No, I haven't been nominated because I'm not a friendly show, a child-friendly show. They watch me and they're like, "No, he's Scottish and he swears too much," and it's just, no, we'll leave him up there.
Do you know, in all seriousness, I do enjoy your show because of it's the relaxed atmosphere that you create. It's James, isn't it? You stream with.
Yeah,
you two are a great double act. I think.
Thank you so much.
I think the pair of you two are just fantastic. I think the conversation that you have is very, very informative, and I have mentioned on the show several times that you are one of my go-to when you are on YouTube. I mean, I'll ask you this immediately. How come you don't actually upload to YouTube that often?
It's kind of funny. So I'll watch my stuff back, and I'm like, "Oh no, this was rubbish. I'm not uploading it." I think it's just a case of like your worst critic kind of thing. Yeah, I'll watch it back and I'm like, "No, this is not fun or anything. I'm just gonna leave it." But to be honest, then I started watching you guys and you upload anything. So I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? I'll start uploading." So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, because I know you stream on Twitch, don't you? All the time. You collaborate a lot with FPL Tips as well. And he does a lot of Twitch streaming too, and it's something that myself and Jason have dived into. I think did we raid you one time?
Yeah, that's how I found out who you were. I was on Twitch minding my own business with my 20 viewers or whatever, and then like 100 people swept in. I think it was when you guys were banned or you were like disputing something on YouTube, so you were like only on Twitch, so everyone was there. And then you raided me, and I was like, "You guys have made a terrible mistake. I have no idea who you are, but you have definitely no idea what you've done." and then you came in, and I was like, "Oh, who are these guys?" And I watched, and I seen your intro for the first time. You know that like. I felt like I was 18 in a club again, and it was like, "Yes, let's go." And then it finished, and I was like, "Right, I'm done here," and I just closed it. You know, I was like, "This is great," and yeah, I've kind of been watching ever since. It's been quite good.
That's Jason's skills there coming to fruition. This is all his work.
It must have taken him like 50 hours to do that or whatever. It's so over the top. I love it.
I can't go into detail, but I asked him a question. I genuinely meant this. I was like, just of interest, Jace, if someone was genuinely to come to you, they're a new content creator, they love the work that you do, they love the setup that we've got and everything, how much would you charge for them? And let's just put it this way, it was a WTF moment. I couldn't believe it, and it's understandable. It's completely understandable. But when it's your what's the word I'm looking? When it's your passion, it takes minutes. I mean, whenever Jason does things on my laptop and stuff, I'm just sat there while he's doing it over Skype, and I'm just like, This is just
Does he
ridiculous.
take over? I was always wondering that because you guys always have the same setup on whatever streaming
Yeah,
device you use, OBS or whatever. So he must do it then. He comes over and sorts your stuff out.
Yeah, he links everything in. He sets everything up. It's absolutely it's superb, and what he's done for everything is great. But our thumbnails, in fact, I'll give Alex Volo. Please tell me you're still listening. I know you were here this morning, but Alex Volo, for anybody that wants any great artwork done, maybe give Alex Volo a follow on Twitter, because he's been designing all our thumbnails, and that's another reason why I'm really enthused with this season so far, because the work that Alex is doing for us is great. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's,
I might give him a shout.
Yeah, Alex, I can't remember. I'll check in a second specifically what it is. But how many cats then have you eaten this morning then, Dave? Because I said don't eat any, but how many did you eat in the end?
Oh no, I was just trying to think of the weirdest thing I could ask you, because you were like, I don't know, I haven't said specifically FPL. So if they come on and start asking me random stuff, I don't know what I'll do. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna start asking them random questions. And that's the first thing I thought of, because my cat jumped on my desktop. So I was like, oh, how many cats should I eat today? And then you've been weirdly stuck on that question for like 20 minutes now. So now I'm thinking you've got a little bit of a disposition for cat eating. What's going on?
I'm a massive fan of podcasts and YouTube creators or whatever, for not just fantasy football, but like any form of interest that I have. And you just mentioned about, I was just thinking of asking you anything, and to be honest with you, I want to do a stream one day where it is ask me anything, but as in literally ask me anything. But you've done it before, haven't you, on one of your streams?
Yeah, I've done it a few times. I really like it because I'm quite an out there person. Like I'm an open. You could literally ask me anything. I have no problem. There's zero filter. I'm trying really hard not to swear right now. Like it's really difficult. So when I say ask me anything and people are too tame, I'll be like, come on guys, you can do better than that. Like ask me something good, because you want to get into the nitty gritty, right? You want to kind of, the shock value is where the humor is at. So I think it'd be really good because you just sit and giggle the whole time. I would love to do it, mate. If you want to do that, you want to bring me on, me and you will do an ask me anything, and I'll just be there as like ref. And if it's too tame of a question, I'll just be like, up that a little bit. Yeah, ask him out his bum. Go for it. Do it. I believe in you. You know what I mean?
I've
just
done
asking the weirdest stuff.
I've done on a lot of our streams. I'm renowned for going off topics, a lot of tangents about like wrestling or whatever, or whatever.
Or whatever this is right now.
I've done a lot of members videos, just me ranting about certain things that have happened in my life, whether people like it or not. It's just great to get off my chest. But going to the public, getting them to ask me anything,
it's fun. It is fun.
There was one you said about upping the stakes. There was one, shall we say, about in the bedroom and things that happen in the bedroom, and yourself and James went into a bit of detail. I was just at work, just like this is ridiculous. Yet it's hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, we just try and make it the worst ever. That's my goal. My goal is to make James blush, because he's really difficult, because he's kind of the same level as me. But if I can make him go, oh, for goodness sake, Dave, then I've done my job, because it's really difficult. But we have a laugh. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's the enjoyment of streaming, really. It's I actually, like I said at the start of the show, you may have called it or not, but I love watching Andy Let's Talk FPL streams, because ironically it's watching what the people say in chat which fascinates me. Like, as much as I love what Andy has to say, it's reading people's questions in the chat. Admittedly, it's going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but it just fascinates me. And the interaction with like you do on your show, interacting with the audience like we do on our show and everything, it's great fun. And up on screen at the moment, for anybody that does want to give Alex Volo a follow, what a lovely little rhyme there.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. He's
Say
changed
that 3 times fast.
He's changed his. It was a completely different name, but it is just literally just follow him. It's at Alex Volo, and like I said, I mean, he is a very busy guy. I don't want to be pushing work his way, but if you do like the thumbnails that he's done for myself and Jason, and you have some work that he wants, that you may want him to do for you, give him a follow, give him a question. But talking of questions, Dave, the whole idea of the show was to ask me one question, and we will have your team up on screen in a 3, a 2, a 1. There it is, up on screen at the moment for people listening on audio. We have got in goal Ramsdale, Alexander Arnold, Tierney, Justin, Saliba, Greenwood, St. Maximin, Aubameyang, Salah, Kane, captain, nice, and Danny Ings. What is that one question you have for myself?
This is hilarious. My question for you, because I didn't really have a question. You just said, should you come on? And I was like, right, okay. So I've kind of made this up as I go along. But here we go. I'm not really interested in Chelsea at all until I see them. This is from being burned in the past, bringing Mount in when I shouldn't have, having Zuma at the start of the season last year, etc., etc. So this time, although Chelsea did finish third, it was the skin of their teeth, right? I want to know if you are as buzzing, as hyped on Chelsea's new players as everyone else. Like, what is your thoughts on that? Because I don't listen to as much content as you. You probably listen to a shit ton of
another 50p.
Loads of, you know. Shut up, mate. I'm trying my best. Okay. Yeah. So you probably listen to loads of content. So I'm just curious of what do you think of the old Chelsea stuff?
Ironically, I've made a decision. In fact, this may come as a bit of a shock to you. So, I've personally made a decision that this season I am not going to be tuning in or listening to any FPL content. I've muted anybody on Twitter, including yourself. I've muted because
That's why you haven't been replying.
Do you know, it's funny? It's funny because I tagged just for a bit of fun. I heard something James said from Planet FPL. I did actually see you liked it, but I tagged James into something that I heard him say. I just had a bit of a laugh, and I didn't realise that if you actually mute someone on Twitter, you don't get their notifications either. So
What did you think muting meant? Mate?
Well, I thought it meant mute as in you can't
you don't
see
hear them
anything
anymore.
on the feed. So unfortunately, I can't see notifications.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you're gonna have to just turn
because
Twitter
going on
off.
what you've just said. My team up on screen right now, it has 3 Chelsea players.
Oh,
Chelsea,
yeah, Mount, Ziyech, Werner.
Yeah, they're freaks. They're absolute. Well, certainly Ziyech and Werner, they're just freaks of nature. They are going, and especially in a team which likes to score goals. And I'm personally on that train.
I mean, you're all the way on that train. You were first on that train. You got 3 of them. Even Mount over Pulisic. What's the thoughts on that then? I know I'm asking you questions.
No, it's cool. But essentially, it's because he isn't going to start game week 1. It's about, what, a 10% chance he'll start in game week 1. Your mate FPL Tips, he says, as a Chelsea fan, he won't be starting game week 1. And I'd rather wait on news regarding Pulisic. If I find out from Lampard he's going to be playing, then it's a question of, do I downgrade Doherty to Vinagre and bring him out? That's my a couple of dilemmas that I have. I'm all aboard. In the words of, in fact, there he is now. FPL Tips is here. He's saying all aboard. In fact, you've been. I know you're a big fan of Fantasy Scout. How long have you been listening to their podcast for? Because I'm hoping you may understand what I'm about to do. How long have you been listening to their podcast? And I mean their podcast, not their YouTube, their podcast.
Like back when everyone was on it. I'm
talking Mark and Granville.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, 5 years or something.
Right, so
ages, a long time.
You should understand this, which is all aboard! All aboard!
Oh, I did not miss that, honestly.
So essentially,
yes.
I'm getting on that train.
Okay. So you're on it.
Avoid Chelsea defensive assets. Absolutely useless from a defensive perspective. Absolute waste of time.
Learn that the hard way, SteveO. Learn that the hard way. I still want to kill Zuma. I know it's family friendly, right? But I haven't swore. I've just said I wanted to kill someone. Is that okay? Because I really did. He is I think he got me 1 point in 5 games. That's not even a joke. He got 2 yellow cards. He conceded like over 4 goals the first game. Remember that Manchester United rubbing? A 1.5 games, and that was because there was other fires. Like my team was so rubbish that he wasn't even the worst player that I had to get rid of right away. It's just bad. I still hate him then.
Yeah, I'm bitter about certain players, i.e. Salah. Again, there was a very, I know I clipped it, but there was a very famous moment during the lockdown where Salah was put clean through, missed it, and I just thought, to hell with this. I can't take this anymore. I quit the stream, went and did a members only ranting and raving about how angry I was with Salah. There are players. In fact, that's a great question to ask you.
What is it?
Are there any players that you're still bitter about, other than Zuma, where you think, I ain't going anywhere near them?
How long do we have?
I'm
not even joking. How long do we have? I could I know we're not allowed to swear, right? So let's just keep this quick, right? See that Ings penalty? I'm still annoyed about that Ings penalty. I was punching walls that I could not believe. See, he stepped up to take it. All the hope in me. I had Tim captained. I was so excited, and then the worst penalty I've ever seen in my whole life, and it was just. Oh. So now I'm scared to even I'm not scared to put him in. He's in my team right now, but I'm just it makes me nervous now. Whereas before he was the vision of hope, the vision of all that could be in FPL, and he bloody misses a penalty. The amount of goals you started me now. The amount of goals he scored from ridiculous angles, from ridiculous places, and makes it look easy, and he can't score from 6 yards. So he's won.
Dave, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Are you willing to stay on air and talk to some people? Get them to ask you a question.
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant.
Let's do it. I'm here.
Let's do it. Let's bring on Dara Brosnan. He's been waiting for a very long time. Dara Brosnan, you're live on Elite FPL with myself and FPL Dave. Morning, pal.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Can you hear FPL Dave? Dave, do you want to say hello to Dara?
Hey, buddy. How's life?
It's good, man. It's good.
Dara, you were you on last night, or did you try to get on and we couldn't get hold of you? Yeah, we run over time.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know.
Well,
are you related to Pierce by any chance?
Oh, good.
Oh, he's away. Is he away? Hello? Oh, I've scared him off. That was a James Bond joke, folks.
Where's he gone? Dara, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I think it's gone over. It does. It doesn't matter. Dara, we got your team up on screen at the moment. It's McCarthy in goal, Trent, Justin, Vinagre, Aubameyang, Salah, Maddison, Son, Ziyech, Ings. Talking of Ings, Dwight Gale. Fascinating. The one question that you have for FPL Dave, what's that one question that you want to ask Dave?
He's been sitting in this waiting room for 20 minutes waiting to speak to you, and then someone got on before him, and now he's made to talk to this random person you've never heard of. What's your question, mate? Give us your question.
Would you start with Son and Ings, or would you start with Vardy and Greenwood? Bench Greenwood, then play 4-4-2.
Now this, in all seriousness, Dave, this is a question that has been asked quite a lot today. This is the dilemma that a lot of people are going through, like Dara here, where it's a case of, do I bring in one of those Manchester players, hold them, and then bring them straight into Game Week 2, or just start off with a Game Week 1/2 team and then bring them in later on? Your thoughts then on that specific question about Ings and Son, or Greenwood and who's the other player? Sorry, Dara. Vardy.
Vardy.
Yeah.
Well, Vardy's fixtures are really, really good, and everyone was kind of ignoring Leicester until the fixtures came out, which kind of goes to show that you really do need them to have good fixtures to get them, which makes me question them entirely, right? But putting that aside, my caveat to having someone on the bench for the first game week, whether it be City or United, is that I am now going to stop myself from taking a -4 in Game Week 3. Because if I don't have anyone and I need to make a couple of changes, like the mini wildcard situation in Game Week 3, then you're taking your 2 free transfers and your -4, right? But if you're going to make the decision to hold someone on your bench for the first game week, then you need to be at least ahead of people who are going to be doing that strategy of the -4 in Game Week 3. So that would be the only thing. If you think you can do well with that plus your 2 free transfers by Game Week 3, then absolutely go for it. That's pretty much what I'm doing. You've got a similar team to me. I'm going to have Greenwood on my bench come Game Week 1. So it means that by Game Week 3, I have 2 free transfers. I can have either 3 Man United players or a combination of the 2 Manchester clubs, and it means that I can go forward happy in the knowledge that I'm going to be at least 4 points ahead of quite a lot of people doing that -4 strategy. So that's if you're happy with that, then I'm happy with you, mate.
Yeah, and if I was to start with Ings and Son, then I'd have that team for Game Week 1 and Game Week 2. Then I'd have 2 transfers for Game Week 3. Which
Ings for me is a... Yeah. Oh, well, exactly. So you could do anything right there.
Do Aubameyang to De Bruyne, then I'd have 0.5 to do Madison to Greenwood.
Yeah, that would work as well. I mean, the thing is that if you're going to be holding some of these players, like Son is a very streaky player, and it's very hard to pick a place in time in the season where you know he's going to bang often. He's very much a case of like, I've got 5 good weeks in me, and then I'm going to get you a red card as soon as you captain me. There's another one, SteveO, that I'm better about. So Son for me is like a long-term hold, because you need to kind of get him and just hold him until he does well. Whereas Ings, you could probably get him at any point in time, and he's just going to score every couple of games, right? So if you're holding Son, or if you're starting with Son, he'd be one that I would want to hold for a while. So if you're not planning on holding him for a while, I don't know if it is a good idea to start with him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would hold him. That's it. For was like getting double digits.
Perfect. Well then, mate, you're all sorted. You've got this locked down. I like your team a lot. If you're willing to hold Son, and your plan is for Aubameyang to come out, then go for it, dude. I like it.
Yeah.
Dara, that was absolutely fantastic. Like I said, we're only asking one question, but please come on tomorrow night with myself and Jason, and we'll have a more in-depth conversation with you, pal.
Yeah, I will.
Cheers, Dara. Thanks, pal. Talking of in-depth conversation, I do want to bring on this guy, Drazera. You may have heard of him. An absolute legend in the Elite FPL community. Yo, Dre.
Hello and good afternoon, morning, evening, no matter where you're listening. Hello, guys.
You are live on air with myself and FPL Dave. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. And Dre, I'm going to let you do a bit of admin, because we've got 200 people watching at the moment, but something's going wrong with the likes, isn't it, Dre?
Oh man, I have to say, there's only 78 likes, and to be fair, 220 watching, 78 likes. We got to get it up to 100 at least. If you really like this content, there's only one place to like on FPL YouTube universe, and that is Elite FPL.
There we go. And do you want to say hello to FPL Dave?
Hello, FPL Dave. How are you? Are you okay there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing great. Thank you very much for making my day so much brighter. Oh my goodness.
Dre's great.
You sound like someone who's just about to start a UFC game. That's so funny.
WWE, come on. We're wrestling. Forget UFC. It's all about, is it about NXT, WWE, or AEW in your eyes, Drazera?
Hell yeah.
Which one? Because I know you're the biggest fan of WWE. So is it AEW for you?
It's all about AEW, baby. But is in the E, just like Elite FPL.
Did you just a quick? This is what happens, FPL Dave, when you're live with SteveO. We just go off tangents. So just a quick question, Dre. Did you see, in all seriousness, the documentary celebrating Triple H's 25 years on BT Sport?
I've heard about it. I feel that I'm not going to learn anything much new, because I've lived through all those 25 years. But I'll never forget. Here's a random note. There was an old WrestleMania in the early 90s when Ultimate Warrior came back.
Yeah.
It was an episode of Raw. Hunter Hearst Helmsley lost in a squash match to the Ultimate Warrior. I always found that very interesting.
And they do bring that match up in this documentary. It's highly recommend that to anybody that's a WWE fan. It's a Triple H documentary celebrating his 25 years. It's a 50-minute documentary looking back through his days, his career basically. But we haven't brought you on here to talk about WWE. We've brought you on here to talk about your one question to myself. The team up on screen at the moment, is very different. Dubravka, Trent, Ferguson, Tierney, Dallas, Gordon, Pulisic, Aubameyang, Brewster, Mitrovic, Werner. Now, you've got Greenwood and Fernandes on the bench. We've just been discussing with Dara, for example, about having United players on the bench and maybe bringing them back for Game Week 2. But this is a very different team. The question from me to you is, what's your one question to ask Dave?
Okay. So, Dave, my question to you is this. Do you feel that it is a good strategy to go for high premium strikers, so 10 million and above, or do you think it's better to go mid-range or lower-range strikers for the season?
I think you need to have at least one striker that is either expensive enough that you can reach Aguero, Kane if they start banging, or one of them themselves so that you can get them in and then downgrade if you have to for money for somewhere else, because you don't want to have to be doing 2 hits and start moving money up the field, because then at that point you're taking hits and you're surgery in your team and it's already Game Week 2 or whatever. Like what if Aguero starts all 3 of his first 3 games and then by Game Week 4 you want him, and unfortunately you have Mitrovic as your highest expensive player, and you've got to find 5.5 million somewhere or 4.5 million somewhere. That's difficult, man. So I've got Kane in my team right now for that exact scenario, although I wouldn't be pushed to have Werner in just in case, or at the very least Jimenez or Ings.
Absolutely, that's a very good answer there. I mean, price points are a very important factor, especially at the start of the season when all of us are starting 100 million. We definitely do want to up our value of our teams.
Yeah, exactly. And jumping on trains is amazing. And obviously, we might not have our wild card to start with because of the obvious, Game Week 18 doubles, etc. So a lot of players are probably going to be keeping their wild card for a while, which means that we can't use that as a viable strategy to gain that transfer value that we want. So in that case, you're going to have to start with price points and rely heavily on a flexible strategy for Game Week 1, so you can get to those easy price points within 2 moves. Shout out to FF Scout Joe for the idea.
Dre, thanks for the call. We're gonna end with Dread. Really do appreciate it, pal.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Take it easy, pal.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
There's Dre FPL, Dre Zara there. Obviously, we all know who Dre is. A very good friend of the show, one of our moderators, and he'll be back with us, I'm sure, again when we are live again tomorrow evening. We will finish with one final caller. It is another friend of the show, another moderator. It is Dread FPL. Morning, Dread.
Good morning. How are you? And how are you, Dave?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. See you. It's good to hear you on the show, bro.
It's been great, hasn't it, Dread?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been an awesome show, actually. I'm gonna do the same thing as Dre has done. Everyone, can we get some more likes, please? We most appreciate it.
You guys bring on people to call in mods of the show to then ask your I love it. That is amazing. It is amazing. No, I love it. I think it's great. I think you guys deserve way more. Hold on, let me like it.
Oh, you haven't even liked it yet, dear.
I've liked it. There you go, mate. There you go, mate. Excellent. Done. It's working.
Dred, your team's up on screen at the moment. We've got Dubravka in goal. Hold on a minute. Before we get into the rest of the team, what is this Dubravka love? I've just seen a few people with him. What is it about Dubravka that's so?
I've mainly gone for him because, we know that Newcastle are relatively okay defensively and everything, but their fixtures for the long term are really good. They're not playing like any of the bigger teams for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that who was it? Was it Charlie on last night, wasn't it? And he was saying about Mankilo. And essentially, they've got a good defensive record versus these poorer teams, especially at home. So certainly, I like the thinking there. So Trent, Doherty, Walker-Peters, Vinagre, St. Maximin, Willian, Aubameyang, Salah, Pulisic, and Werner. You have one question to ask us. well, ask Dave more importantly. What is
I
that
do
one
have
question,
one
Dread?
question. So my one question, Dave, right, is why is my team gonna outscore SteveO's in game week 1?
Why? Because, well, being an expert on SteveO's team, that's what I am. I'm pretty sure that you have not got 3 Chelsea players. You've only went for the one. You're hoping for Pulisic. I'm assuming that that's a place in your team that you're going to be changing out.
I'll be changing that. Yeah, although mind you, if Pulisic isn't available, it could probably just be Ziyech.
Right. Okay. So, wait, Steve-O, do you have Aubameyang and Salah on your team?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So really, the only thing difference is the oh, here we go. Perfect. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like Steve-O's team.
It's nice to hear someone likes your team.
That was not the answer I was asking.
Hold on, let me go back.
Not the answer I wanted.
Hold on. Oh, actually, you know what? Have you got? Where are you? Where's your team? Where's your team? Is it in the Discord? I'm trying to look.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in the team screenshot.
Team
I got you. I got you. You know what? I like your punts, to be honest. You've went double Wolves, which is really, really good because obviously they've got like a really, really good fixture run after game week 2, right?
Yeah,
and Steve-O's only got Dockery.
Yeah,
I
I don't want to be getting into like game weeks 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and having to think about defensive transfers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see,
of course they're boring, right? You want to try to change your differential attackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they are very similar teams. You've got Willian, though. What's the thoughts behind that?
I know, and everybody asks me that question.
That's and because it's mental, mate.
I know, it is mental. But the simple fact of the matter is, Arsenal an attacking team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Willian had a very good season last season.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, he was like, he finished in, I think he's like 8th or 9th in midfielders like points last season.
Wow, okay.
And the 2 fixtures are great and everything, and obviously he's going to be servicing people like I don't know, Lacazette maybe, and Aubameyang, who will put goals away.
Can I ask you a question about it? Can I ask you a question? Right, so let's say they keep Lacazette, right? So he's up top. That means Aubameyang's going to be playing on the left, right?
Yeah.
And then Pepe's on the right. So where's Willian playing?
Well, it depends if Pepe gets in the team.
So you're betting your game week 1 squad on whether Pepe or Willian. So Pepe like 80 million or whatever, and then Willian a free transfer brought in as potential backup.
Yeah.
And you're deciding like I'm gonna go for Willian. That's dodgy, mate, innit? Because that's not 100%.
It's not 100%,
I like it.
No.
So there you go. That's why your team's gonna beat Steve-O's, right? Because you have those differentials. You're either gonna totally bomb, crash and burn the squad, never speak to anyone again, or Willian's gonna score a hat-trick game week 1.
Well, the way I see it is right. Yeah, the alternative is that spot goes down to like a 6.5, and I either have like an Antonio or Mitrovic, or I have like a Mount or someone else in there. But I'm thinking, because I can stretch to like that 8 million price point, why not?
That's true. I mean, you could obviously just take them out.
Yeah, I mean, both of those guys both Arsenal assets will be gone come game week 3 anyway. So, why not?
That's why I would say that the question of why is your team going to get more points than Steve-O is because your differentials have a higher ceiling. There you go, mate.
Yeah. Thank you. That's the answer I wanted.
There you go, Steve-O. Your team's rubbish, mate.
Stuff the pair of you. See you later, Dread. There's Dread FPL there. You get stuffed.
You actually just took him out. You didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Goodbye, mate. I'll always remember you.
He's a friend of the show. He's a moderator. We all get on in it. And let's finish on my favourite person. Can you guess who this is, Dave? This is our mate, Lewis Kirkby. Hello, lads. Here we go. In fact, Dave, this is my impression of Lewis. You just heard it. I'll do it again. Hello, lads. How's it going? Let's bring on Lewis.
He's English, isn't he?
He is. Yes. Morning, Lewis.
Hello, Steve-O. How are we doing?
That was pretty good. All right. I wasn't expecting much, Steve-O, but that's quite accurate. Was that Steve-O?
Say that again, pal.
I said, was that you, or was that the actual guest that was speaking there?
Nobody knows.
That's how good the impression is. You don't even
know. That's what I'm saying.
People want me. Well, I say people. Harbour Boy specifically wants me to do a impression members only video of the community members. You never know; it may happen. Lewis, you have one question to ask Dave. What is that one question?
Is it
I feel
worth?
like I'm being pimped out.
Is it worth selling Salah or TAA to upgrade Mitrovic in my team?
Nope.
You don't think so?
That's it. No, of course not, mate. Alexander-Arnold, if you don't have him and he does one thing, your overall rank is buggered, mate.
I'm not going to go long without him, though. I'm planning an early wild card, and I'll bring him back in when the fixtures swing after the Arsenal game. You see Leeds at home, I don't even think that's a brilliant fixture, you know. I think Leeds are going to do pretty well this season. No, I'm a United fan.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Who would you be changing them to, just as a curiosity? Who would you be changing Salah and Alexander-Arnold?
If I was to sell Salah, I'd downgrade Salah to either Pulisic or Ziyech.
Right.
And then I'd upgrade Mitrovic to Vardy if I was to get Ziyech, or Ings if I was to get Pulisic.
Nah, I hate it. I hate it, mate. I absolutely hate it. You've got Kane and Werner, which is what, 20 million in your strikers. You want to then put your 26 million with Mitrovic up to 30 million in just your strikers, hoping that your wild card can get you back just in case you need to, as opposed to potentially just leaving it as it is and then getting to the point where you were going to use your wild card and actually not needing it because you only need a few transfers to bring in those players because you don't have 30 million sitting in your bloody strikers. So I think, I really don't like it. I mean, I don't mind if you were like, hey, Salah or Mane, and I'm going to pick Mane. I'd be like, fair enough. But you need one of them, man. You can't go without. I think your differentials should be where you're trying to like skimp on to get points. Your core team should stay with you forever, regardless of whether you're wildcarding early or not. So that would be Salah, Alexander-Arnold, and maybe even Kane or Werner, depending on who bangs, right? So keep your price points and enjoy your 26 mil. I would say that's still a lot in your strikers right now without trying to upgrade even further.
I think
you
so.
just want all your cake. Yeah, man.
I don't see a lot of value in the midfielders. I really don't.
Wow, you are the first person I've ever heard say that.
And I'm not planning on bringing in like Bruno or anyone either, because I don't think he's going to keep up that point scoring form that he was in. I don't think he's going to be good value at 10.5. I really don't.
Do you know, I it sounds really contradictory, but to say I actually kind of agree with you, Lewis. Like,
you guys are both drugs abusers. What?
Well, if you watch Fernandes over the Project Restart, and more importantly over the Europa League games, Man United in general haven't looked that great, and one for these penalties or whatever. There's something about United that's just looking really tired. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that not getting Fernandes is a good move. I think that certainly if you want to do well at this game, within reason, you've got to get some template players, and Fernandes is one of them. But you're a massive advocate, though, of Martial, aren't you, Lewis?
Yeah, I mean, I tipped him to win the Golden Boot this year, because I genuinely think he can do it. I really do. Because he's been pretty much the only player in that United team since restart. He's been the only consistent player that's been absolutely world class. There hasn't been one game that I can think of where he's put in a subpar performance. He's been absolutely incredible. Even when he's just come on for 10 minutes, he scored. Like, we didn't score in versus Copenhagen in 90 minutes. Martial comes on for 10 minutes, he scores. Bam.
How likely is his golden boot happening if you don't rate Bruno Fernandes? Because who do you like?
No.
I
never said I don't rate him. I think he's going to get a lot of assists this season, Bruno. But it's the penalties. I don't think we're going to get that many penalties again. Like, he was pretty much getting a penalty every game.
Was it?
You might not get as many penalties, but it's still worth it. Even if there was 5 less, he's still worth it.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%. Because he's gonna have a full season this time. He started really well. He played 100% of the minutes for most of the games. No wonder he was tired. He was carrying Man United on his back for like 8 games. That's heavy work, mate. And then he's got a full training season plus he's had experience in the squad now. It's not like they're not going to be doing anything to try. What if Sancho comes in? He's going to be feeding both of them. I can't believe that you guys are not up on Bruno. He literally transformed Man United into a team that we want 3 players of, not just 1, not just 2. We wanted 3. We could have, if we had 4, we would have brought 4 in.
That was
That's
because
how
the
good
fixtures
they
though
were.
as well. You see the starting fixtures for United. People are saying they're amazing, but they're really, really not. Like they're pretty poor from game week. I think it's 4 to or 3 to 8 or something like that. Like they're pretty bad. Like we've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Newcastle away, and then Everton away as well. Like all those games are really, really difficult.
I feel like it's probably one of the best runs, though. They've Crystal Palace, Brighton, Tottenham. So that's 2 out of 3. I'd like them. Then you've got Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal. Okay, 1 out of 3. I'll give you that. So we're kind of even. And then Everton, West Brom, Southampton, West Ham.
And then after that
That's
Everton
decent.
game, that's brilliant. Yeah, but it's in between that. It's after that Brighton game. It's just tough in between that.
You know yourself, though, once Man United are available and everyone starts bringing them in, the price points are going to skyrocket to the point where if you wait till game week 8 or whatever you're planning on doing, that's a bit of an issue. I think they're going to be, you're spending $1 million more potentially.
I'm not saying I'm going to wait. I think what my plan is, I'm going to try and just fit in maybe one, like just Martial.
Right.
In around game week 3 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to leave it. But that's if United look good, like versus Palace. I'm not going to bring any in versus Palace. If we don't look good versus Palace, I might just go without until after all those bad fixtures clear up.
I mean, Manchester United last season beat Chelsea 4-0. A lot of players brought in Martial, etc., and then they kind of fizzled out. I don't expect them to do as well in the opening game for their season, but I do expect them to be way more consistent this year, especially with Pogba and Bruno back in the team. And then if they bring Sancho in, I'm having a very hard time agreeing with you guys. But to be fair, more than one way to play the game.
If Sancho is a different story, a completely different story.
I think Greenwood's still good enough, even without Sancho. But
he's a goal scorer, but he doesn't help the team a lot.
Yeah.
His goals help the team, but in terms of his overall play, he just doesn't. He doesn't do enough for me. And
what
he's not
do Manchester United need to do to make you happy about them? What do they need to do? They've done so well to turn their whole season around, and
we still got the same amount of points that we did the season before. We finished 6th the season before. Or was it 7th?
Aye, but they were.
It was still
you
a
guys were
shocking
doing terrible.
Season. We still didn't win. We still didn't win any trophies. We got knocked out in every semi-final.
I think you got to look at the season as 2 halves, right? You got to do BC and AD kind of thing, like before Bruno, so that would be BB, and then after Bruno. You know what I mean? Because he is a game changer.
Yeah.
And then obviously Pogba wasn't playing for a lot of the season, so you guys had your, I guess, 2 best players, one of your 2 best players, I guess we'll say, and then in the second half you had them, and you guys turned it around, and you're going to be starting with that same team. I think that unfortunately, fans like yourself are usually the worst critics, and I totally get that because I hate teams that I support as well. Like, I get it, but I think you're just going a little bit too harsh on Man United.
I might be.
On a final bit of background, FPL Dave, to Lewis. This is actually only his 2nd season playing the game. So last season, get this, Lewis ended in the top 10,000 in his first season. The question for you, Dave, it's legitimately an incredible achievement.
So good.
Do you think
not 1K this season?
Well, I was going to ask, do you think, though, that Lewis is going to experience what a lot of us seem to experience? We have a good first season because we go into it blind and we just have a bit of fun with it. Whereas I think when people start getting more experience with the game, they overthink things. Do you think Lewis may suffer from that?
100%. I was top. I think I got 4,500. My first proper trying hard season. Totally went for it. Nothing but FPL for a year. Done quite well. And then my second season, I thought myself some kind of FPL mad scientist wizard. and was just doing way too much of my team, overthinking the shit, thinking that
50p. That's
thinking
pound 50.
That's a £1.50, mate. I know. I can see myself. Oh, so sorry.
Bankrupt.
And then I get to my second season, right, and it's just ridiculously bad. And I'm bringing in players that I would never have brought in the first season. You overthink, and it goes badly. So hopefully, with this being your second season, having SteveO, having all the content that you can get, I think you're gonna do much better than a lot of players, especially since you're so down on, like, you're not overthinking Man United. You're just saying, no, I'm not having. You know what I mean? Like, I think you've got the right idea. You just need to kind of realize you're biased a little bit. But yeah, man, well done on the top 10K. That's amazing.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Lewis, it's been a pleasure.
You too, Steve. Well, see you
Cheers,
later,
dude.
man.
That's Lewis Kirkby there. We all know him. He's a regular contributor to the show. FPL Dave, we're gonna end it there. It's been an absolute pleasure. I see that you've taken my advice. I've just seen on YouTube that you've uploaded a video, so I'll probably be listening to that later on.
Yeah, I did it as soon as you said. No, I had it scheduled. But yeah, I'm planning on uploading all my streams, even if they're dumb and stupid and I don't really like them. I'm like the Man United fan that we just had the pleasure of speaking to. I'm my own worst critic, but hopefully I'll upload more and stuff. You guys can check out if you want, or not, or just say hi every now and again. I would love that. But thank you very much for letting me on, SteveO. This has been great. We should definitely do this again sometime.
No, absolutely. You know what to do. Just contact us via Twitter. I usually leave everything.
How can I? You've muted me. You've muted me.
No. Go to at Elite FPL.
Okay, fair enough.
I usually let Jason deal with all the important stuff. But in all seriousness, yeah, just for anybody really, just follow us on Twitter at Elite FPL. Like I said, we only upload silly videos or whatever. But in all seriousness, yeah, Dave, it'd be more than a pleasure to get you back on the show, and I'm sure.
Yeah, man,
in fact,
what we'll do is me anything.
This is kind of like an unofficial meeting taking place, Jason. Basically, Jason can sort out getting your camera up and everything, and we'll be able to take it from there. It'd be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, man, we'll do a thing. It'll be great. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to stay on. You guys have been really nice in the chat as well. Seen a lot of people say nice things, so I appreciate that, guys. And I'll speak to you later, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
That's FPL Dave there. If you don't know him, he's a regular Twitcher. Go check his channel out. It's all a bit of fun. If you've enjoyed what he's been like with myself today, it's pretty much what he's like on his streams. They're all fun. I was a fan of his throughout. I think it was halfway through the season I was made aware of his content, and it is just genuinely down-to-earth, enjoyable, fun content. Just having a conversation. That's it. On that note, this has been genuinely a shock to my system. I honestly was not expecting this to go as well as it did. I think I'm going to do this in the near future. I think I'm going to be imploring Jason to do one tonight. A one question only stream. I think they have worked really, really well. We get some great conversation out there, and it's been an absolute blast, basically. And what can I say? Let's end the stream there. So essentially, it's the usual admin from me. If you've enjoyed the show, this is why I was doing that. We were 4 away from 125 likes. Just hit that like button. If you are completely brand new around here, hit that subscribe button. Help myself and Jason to the 4,000 subscription mark. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers by game week 1. But let's be honest here. Let's try and get there to Sunday evening when myself and Jason are live on air. Other than that, all I will say is follow us, like I just mentioned, on Twitter at Elite FPL, where we just really put up when we're next going live, and obviously when we are putting up funny clips. What else other admin there? The Invitational League, EliteFPL.com. EliteFPL.com. Read more information about the Invitational League. All the information is there. I highly, highly, highly recommend, if you are kind of interested in that, just go to the EliteFPL.com website and you will find out all the information there. Of course, join our Discord. We are trying to get as many people in there as possible to evoke conversation about all things fantasy football, and that's how you get live on air. It's how you get to talk to myself and Jason. just get into Discord, sign up. The links are all in the chat and everything. And thanks to all the moderators that have been there. FireTog, I know you've been there from the start. It's been an absolute pleasure, you helping out with various people, asking questions and stuff. And on that note, all I will say is cheers, guys, and see you tomorrow with myself and Jason. Stay tuned for when we decide to go live. Unless Jason decides to go live tonight.